Hello everyone. Today I'm doing the quarter year crisis tag. Now this tag was created by Roisin over at the channel Roisin's Reading. And I was tagged by Patrick from Patrick's Book Reviews. Now don't tell him this, but he is one of my favorite channels. He reads a lot of classics, and I like how he can sometimes really dive deep within a subject he discovers and get lost in it. Anyway, make sure to check his channel out. Yeah, thanks a lot for tagging me. I always like doing these kind of tags because they give you a good moment to reflect a bit instead of just constantly moving from one book to the next. And I still don't really know why it's called a crisis tag, because honestly things are going pretty well for me, but I guess it's more about checking in with your reading and seeing if anything needs to change going into the rest of the year. Anyway, the first prompt is how many books have you read so far? And so far in 2026 I finished 14 books, which I think is a really solid start to the year. Especially because I don't read with a specific number goal in mind. I know a lot of people like to aim for 50 or 100 books a year, but that just never really worked for me. For me, reading is very mood based. I just pick up something whenever I feel like reading, and sometimes it just means I read a lot, and sometimes it slows down a bit. But looking back at it now, 14 books in roughly 3.5 months is a pace I'm very happy with. And it also feels like I've had a good mix of longer and shorter books, and a decent variety in what I've been reading, even if one genre clearly dominated. But I'll get to that in a bit. And the second prompt is, have you already found a book you think might be a 2026 favorite? And if not, what was your favorite book you read that wasn't quite 5-star? So for me, there are no 5-star reads yet this year, which might sound a bit disappointing, but for me it's actually pretty normal. I'm very strict with 5-star ratings. It has to be something that really sticks with me, something that feels almost perfect for what it's trying to do. And honestly, I haven't had that feeling in a long time. But the book that came closest so far is Mobilization by Yoshiki Tanaka, which is the 5th book in the Legend of the Galactic Heroes, which is a Japanese space opera series. And this one really stood out to me because of how unexpected it was. Going into it, I thought, okay, this is the midpoint of the series, so it's probably going to set things up for later. Maybe build toward a big conclusion in the second half of the series. But that's not what happened at all. Instead, this book feels like a turning point. Huge developments happen, made the shifts in the political and military situation, and honestly it felt like the kind of stuff you would normally expect at the very end of a series. And because of that, it completely changes your expectations going forward. You don't really know where things are going anymore, and I really like that feeling. It's also just very engaging throughout, A lot happens, but it never feels rushed or chaotic. It's more that the scale of the story suddenly expands in a way that makes everything feel more unpredictable. So yeah, not quite 5 stars, but definitely the closest so far. And the next prompt is any 1-star books or the least favorite book of the year. And my least favorite book this year so far was The Crystal Shard by R.A. Salvatore. And this is actually a DNF. This is the first book in the Icewind Dale trilogy. And I went into it expecting something classic. Maybe a bit simple, but still fun and engaging. But for me, this one just didn't work. I think the biggest issue was that everything felt very straightforward. The plot was exactly what you expect, and not in a comforting way, in a way where it just didn't really surprise me at all. And the characters didn't help either. They felt quite flat, and I never really got invested in them. And if I don't care about the characters at all, it becomes very hard to stay engaged with the story. So I feel like I gave it a fair chance, but at some point I just realized I wasn't enjoying it, and that there are just too many other books I want to read to keep pushing through something that isn't working. So yeah, that one was definitely the biggest disappointment so far. And the next prompt is the most read genre so far. And this one is very easy. It's science fiction. And it's by a pretty big margin as well. Normally I try to balance science fiction and fantasy quite evenly, because I enjoy both genres a lot. But this year I've just naturally gravitated more toward sci-fi. And I didn't really plan that, it just kind of happened. Sometimes I just go with whatever I'm in the mood for, and apparently this year that mood has been more futuristic, more space focused and more speculative. Maybe it's because sci-fi often explores bigger ideas, or maybe it's just a coincidence. But it's definitely been the dominant genre so far. That said, I do still want to balance it out a bit more in the rest of the year. And the next question is a book that surprised you. I think it would definitely be Replay by Ken Grimwood. And this was a really interesting reading experience, because I went into it expecting a fairly standard time loop story. Something where the main character relives their life and maybe tries to fix mistakes or change outcomes. But it turned out to be much more character focused than I expected. It really takes its time exploring what it would mean to live your life over and over again. Not just the advantages, but also the emotional consequences. And there's a kind of quiet depth to it that I didn't expect going in, and that's what made it stand out. It's not flashy, it's not action heavy, but it does stick with you. And the next question is books that came out in 2026 already, that you want to read but haven't yet. And I think that would be a book called Queen of Faces by Petra Lord. And I heard about this one through JJ from the channel JJ the Bookworm Blacksmith, who said it's one of her favorite books she ever read, which is a pretty strong recommendation. And the concept alone already sounds really interesting. It's about people using magic to change bodies, which opens up a lot of possibilities, not just in terms of plot, but also in identity, perspective, and even how characters interact with each other. And I'm always curious about debut novels because they can go in unexpected directions. So yeah, that's definitely one I want to get to at some point. And the next prompt is a goal that you're succeeding at. Now, like I said earlier, I don't really set strict goals, but one thing I did want to do this year was read a bit more broadly. Step a bit outside of just science fiction and fantasy. And I think I'm actually doing that. Because right now I'm reading The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas, which is very different from what I usually read. It's a classic, it's historical, and has a very different style and pace compared to modern genre fiction. And I'm enjoying that change of pace. It reminds me that there's a lot out there beyond the genres I usually stick to. And the next prompt is a goal you need to focus on. And for me that's starting The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. I just keep avoiding it. And I don't even really know why. I think part of it is just the size of the series. It's a big commitment, and once you start you kind of know you're in it for the long run. But at the same time, I've heard so many good things about it, and it feels like one of those series I should try at some point. So yeah, I keep saying I'll start it soon, so maybe this year, but we'll see. And the final prompt is new to you booktubers, bookstagrammers or booktokers for 2026 you recommend. Now there are a few channels I've been enjoying recently, and I want to focus on some I haven't really talked about yet. And the first one is the Ansible Library. He's a channel mostly about science fiction, at least reading wise. I'm pretty sure he's real. He currently has a series about the Star Wars novels, so make sure to check him out. Another one is Book Talks with Nansen. She's from Denmark, and she reads a lot of stuff that I don't. Thrillers and romantasy mostly. She has a great channel, and she usually has these monthly vlogs wherein she talks about the books she reads, filming during the month, and then putting everything together in one video. And another one is the Book Squirrel. He has a what bigger channel, even though all these channels are bigger than mine. But he reads basically everything, and he also focuses on new releases, and he lets his audience help him in picking what to read, and he lets all his reading decide with a TBR wheel. So he has a lot of possibilities, and he also does a lot of reviews on his channel, which are always very high level. Anyway, they all have slightly different styles, but I think that's what makes it interesting. It's always good to find new perspectives and new people talking about books you might not have picked up otherwise. So definitely go check them out, and I'll leave links in the description. So yeah, that's it for the quarter year crisis tag. Overall, I'd say it's been a really solid start to the reading year. No 5-star books yet, but still a lot of good and interesting reads. And sometimes that's just how it goes. And I'm curious to see how the rest of the year develops. especially if I can balance my genres a bit more, and finally start some of those bigger series I've been putting off. And let me know how your reading year is going so far. Are you happy with it? Or are you actually a bit in a reading crisis? And of course, if you want to do this tag yourself, consider yourself tagged. So yeah, that was all. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video.